Good morning, friends. I'm going to share my screen and get our good morning song started. Try to find your sleeve with your feelings check-in while I'm looking for that. All right, friends, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Good morning. How are my friends feeling today? Let's find our feelings check-in. I'm happy. How are my friends feeling? Can we tell me on Learning Genie how we are feeling today? I have something bugging my eye, I'm sorry. On the other side of we'll have the month, October, the days of the week. What day of the week is it? Our weather check-in. Look outside, see what your weather looks like. The days of the week, or the date. So whatever date it is. So it's 10th, right? Circle it and then write it in here. And then you'll have on the other side you'll have your name. Please keep practicing writing your name. That's very important. We do now name writing every day in school. Practice your letter of the week. And this week it is B for boy. Practice that. And our number is 4. Number 4. Keep practicing all that every day, even at home. Our story is the story of Ferdinand. Does anybody remember what my vocabulary words are? I will show you. Here's our vocab words. And then in our story when we're playing it, look for these words, wiggle our ears. Cart and fierce. Cart and fierce. So I'm going to share my screen for our story. Story. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. Today's flip along is The Story of Ferdinand by Monroe Leaf, illustrated by Robert Lawson. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, She let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and
Fierce.
he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and the bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Wow, did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around, puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. What a
Cart
day
wiggle.
it was! Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros, with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and
Wiggle
all
your
the
ear.
banderilleros were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely lady's hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce, no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the picadores were madder. And the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off with his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, He is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, just quietly. He is very happy. The end.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I think that's a little different version than what I read to you guys and I've shared. They do have different versions of the Ferdinand story out there. If you can remember the secret or the vocab words, type that on Learning Genie so I know you were paying attention. And I was also wondering, how are my friends doing with their pumpkin counting sheets? I'd be interested to know how that's looking for them and if they're doing well and if there's any questions. Also, and I want to know, we're doing the bubble experiment. You can either do it with apples or in a cup. I've tried it with the apples. It's pretty cool. And the bubble painting, I really like to do bubble painting. We're going to do that in class. Maybe next week. We'll see what all pans out. I was just kind of wondering if you get these projects at home and how they turned out for you. And if you had any questions or thoughts and be like, hey, try something different. Do it this way. That's something I'd like to know. And our letter of the week is B, and our number is 4. Keep practicing that. And our question is, what did Ferdinand do when he got into the ring? Let me know on Learning Genie what that answer is. And then also, do any of you have a B in your name? And how many B's would you have in your name? I think that is all for today. Unless you have more questions, let me know. I'm going to stick up motor activity. It's going to be Poppin' Bubbles, Go Noodle. It's from Go Noodle. And then how to do a burpee. I don't know if I got that one uploaded yesterday. I was really struggling yesterday. My internet was not working with me yesterday at all. And then talk to your kids about where Spain would be. If you have a big map or a globe, show them where Spain is at. Until next time, friends, have a good day. Bye.